Because of course you want to start out a summer reading tag by drinking coffee. Hey everyone, I'm Lydia from Novelty, and today we're doing the summer reading tag. I did this book tag last year, so I decided to switch some things up. Number one, I'm not allowed to use any of the same answers or books, etc. from last year. Number two, I'm only doing physical books I have with me right now. Number three, I am only doing fiction books. And number four, I'm only using each author or book for one question, meaning like even if I wanted to use it for a second question, I had to find a new answer for that one. So let's get going. The first question is, what are 3 books you want to read this summer? My first book is A Defense of Honor by Christiane Hunter. I really have no clue what this book will be about, but another book I read by this author, the only other book I've read by her, takes place in London in the 1800s and has espionage. And I'm hoping this book will have spying too, because spies make my heart happy. I mean, in fiction at least. My second book is The Ladies of Ivy Cottage. This book is the second book in the series to this one, and I read this one for review a while ago. It's The Innkeepers of Ivy Hill, and so you can see they're like kind of thick. They are over 400 pages a piece. I got this second one for review like a year ago, but when I started reading it, I could not remember any of the characters, which means I probably have to reread this one before I can read this one, and that's a lot of time commitment to read like 900 pages. But hopefully this summer that will happen. And my last book is More This Fun Summer by Becca O'Brien. Becca and I are email/blogging friends and have been for about 4.5 years now. So I've not ever read any of her books, which is a huge shame, and I am looking forward to reading them. What book character most embodies the feeling of summer? I went with the Christy Miller collection by Robin Jones Gunn because, oh my goodness, you cannot read this series without thinking summer! I enjoyed it. I read it for the first time when I was in my upper teens, and so I think I was too old, so I didn't love the series like a lot of people do, but it was pretty interesting. Okay, what types of books do you like to read on vacation? I generally read either A, all the books I need to catch up with, or B, light, happy, contemporary books that just are so much fun to dive into but don't really make me think. Are there any special books that hold specific memories from while you were on vacation? Oh my goodness, yes, guys. I categorize so much of my reading based on where I was when I read the book, and then when I go back to those places, like, or if I see pictures of them, instantly these pictures of me reading pops into my mind and I remember what I was reading, where, etc., etc. For instance, one time while on vacation last year, I went outside to download a book because I didn't have internet inside, and then I just laid on this little stone wall for a while reading, and every time I went past that stone wall the next year when we went back for vacation, I was like, this is where I started that book, and it was pretty cool. If you could go on vacation with any author in the world, who would you choose and where would you go? I would want to go on vacation with Miss Stephanie Morel, who is one of my favorite authors and wrote all these amazing books, and she's also who I call my writing mentor because she started Go Teen Writers, which then they also wrote this book, and it's really fantastic and totally amazing. As for where I would want to go, I think I would let her choose, and as much as I don't like surprises, I think I'd be like, just like, surprise me with going wherever you think would be the coolest place in the world to go. What is the best book you've read this year? I chose A Light on the Hill by Connie Lynn Cassette, and oh my goodness, this book is about one of the characters from her last trilogy, and I had been so sad when that trilogy ended because I was like, I really hope that we get to hear about Mariah's story, and then lo and behold we did. She got a whole like beginning of a series, which I don't think the other books are about her. It's the City of Refuge series, and this is book 1. I don't know if the other books in the series are about her. I would say probably not, but it's such a good book. She as an author, not the character. The author makes the biblical world come alive to me and makes everything so real, and I've been listening to the Old Testament recently. I'm in Ezra now, and it feels so much more realistic since I can picture all the things that she's written about in her books, like the scenery, etc., etc., etc. So her books, they're just really amazing.